Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the NLC Division 2. We're getting ready to go into our fourth game of the day, which is going to be Domino taking on Munster Rugby Gaming. Two teams again who are tied up in the standings, 5 and 6. Maybe fourth time's the challenge, Amado. Maybe we're going to get a close game, or we could just get another slaughter.
Yeah, we've had some very, very one-sided games today, and I'm hoping that at the very least we have something competitive, but I feel like we might be following the trend. And to be fair, given current circumstances for both of us,
Yeah.
wouldn't be terrible. Like, look, I know we should probably be a little more professional because we are on a broadcast, but we've always run Div 2 kind of like a family thing, like us, chat, Reed, when he's been the producer this year.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. And yeah, we'll see. I think, for
Where are
both
you
sides,
going with it?
I'm not going anywhere. For both sides, we really do need to see like a convincing game, and that's the worry for me because like
Yeah.
a convincing game means a short game, and that would mean that we'd have to leave it up to London Lucent to give us a long game, which, given the fact they're both 3 and 8, would mean that we would get a really long game if I had to wager, I guess. But yeah, I think just some consistency is key for either side, and whether that means a short 25-minute stomp or not, we'll have to wait and see. It's a little bit too hard to call. Like the other games, I feel like last game I expected a bloody game. I didn't expect a one-sided game. This game, I kind of don't know what to expect.
Well, we'll find out as Champ Select goes through. We've had the Lucian, we've had the Gnar, we've had the Belveth and the Seraphine banned away so far. Domino looking for their final ban. Curious to see what it's going to be. I'm trying to think what consistency we've had. Like Belveth actually not consistently banned today. Seraphine has had very high presence in picks and bans. What else have we had? Renata's been very heavily banned as well. Having a brain fart. Wukong's been quite a common ban actually as well today.
Yeah, once or twice. Seraphine, I think, besides that natives game, has been banned out in most games. So, loads of very strong champions that we are very much used to. Porcupine has put a lot of priority.
Oh no!
There goes the draw. Oh no! Is that paused? Is that remade? We will know very shortly. The immediate thing I hear in my ears is bug. So hopefully that is a very short-term thing, which means that the players can get back into lobby and we can get back into Champ Select ASAP. A relog at worst. But yeah, bans have stayed. I mean, they've been changing here in Div 2. I feel like across the world on 12-12, we've seen fairly consistent bans on both sides. Especially, oh god, what is it? I should know this because I've been watching a lot of LPL in particular. It's like Lucian, Wukong, Zeri, I think. On red side is like the locked in 3 bans normally that we see a lot of the time. I think it's a combination of at the very least 2 of those champions plus another, which sees basically permanent ban status on the red side of the map. But we're here back in Champ Select straight away. It looked like just a small hiccup worse, but same ban should still come through. The Belveth, the Seraphine, and the Gnar here was from Domino side, and then we will continue on as we were.
All right, well, let's see what this ban is actually meant to be from the side of Domino. As obviously they did miss that ban. It's going to be the Viego champion we have seen once today so far. Then on the other side, towards Munster now, looking towards their ban. Like you're saying, that Zeri is still up and available if that is a potential ban here. They are just going to go for the Yuumi, and I guess the Yuumi denies both at the same time.
Yeah, kind of like soft denies Zeri. Zeri still has a couple of strong partnerships, but the problem is Domino put so much priority on this Wukong that I feel like for Munster, you could have been happy maybe allowing the Yuumi to go through, just simply because Domino, again, I feel like every game this week, if Wukong's up, they just first picked it. And it's definitely something that Porcupine has lent on a lot. For Munster, though, let's see what they want to do, because that Zeri is up. They have the option of even going towards maybe the likes of the Callista plus the Volley Bear. They have the Senna just flashed right there as well. Definitely an option for them, but they go towards the Jinx and the Tom Kench at the same time. Very interesting considering they just hovered Senna. So let's see what they will get done, because you expect, either something that can just outscale and sit pretty comfortably in a lane like that, or like a straight up kill lane, right? Like the Callista and R or something along those lines. Corki's being hovered. Corki's been locked in. I'm going to go to sleep. We'll see whether or not Harbo decides to handshake it with the Azir, because Harbo has played some Azir so far this split. It's even got the Aphelios next to it, man. It just continues to get worse. Like, if Yeah, oh, no. Okay. Xerath, while still being a wave clear mage, at least would be kind of better than no. No, we're just...
No,
See, I would do that, but
It's
my chair has gotten old in the last few months, and it creaks. So if I do what you're doing, it's just gonna sound like...
Well, I have gotten old in the last few weeks, and I just creak instead now. Yeah, okay, take that and don't run with it. Screw you, man. Right, GP getting banned away. Honestly, no, after that kitten stuff, and then this, I've had it with you. I'm done. I'm fed up with you, mister.
What do you mean? Okay, Gangplank banned away. What will we see from the Domino side now? Because I think realistically, you just go towards the jungle, right? For Shikao, you pick away the champions that he's been playing so far this split. Whether you want to go down the standard route, okay, actually, they go towards Orn. They go towards Skewer instead. I feel like, considering, I mean, maybe because they're banning away tops on Munster's side, so they want to just like pin down the pool as much as possible, perhaps to potentially force an R4 top laner. We'll see what Munster want to do. But Munster definitely going to be looking to pick up a jungler at the very least. Also very interesting to note that they're not taking away supports from Snarby, which could be pretty important. There you go. At least they're a Khan ban, which really good at obviously facilitating Wukong engage as well. So I quite like that in terms of flexibility. Would have had a free lane into the Tahm Kench. Pretty smart ban. Now I expect Domino to probably just follow suit with another top lane ban, unless they feel like there's a champion in Shakal's champion pool that they need to have off the table.
Yeah, let's try to figure out what they think they're actually going to look to take away here. Is that final pickup or that final ban? It's just going to be the Jace here. So denying, some top lane pressure over to the side of Munster. Now, Munster, what do you think they're going to pick up? Probably just the jungler and then get counter pick at the top side.
It's jungle and for sure jungle on R4. Shakal has a pretty wide champion pool, and then a top laner on R5. But I'm really curious about the Jace ban because, to me, I mean, my first immediate thought process is Jax, but like Jax, when you only see the jungler and blind, kind of risky. But I mean, into the likes of Jinx, who's mostly auto attacking, Tahm Kench, your spells don't really matter too much. You can dodge away from a lot of the damage of the leap strike against Seraph. But Jace ban maybe just towards Skewer, who has it in the champion pool, maybe he's been prepping it. Lulu, very common pairing with the Aphelios. We've seen it for what feels like an eternity now. Aphelios has only been in the game for like 3 years, but it feels...
Oh, what? Yeah. It's not 3 years. He came out like last week.
No. I think he came out in season 10, didn't he? So that would... I don't have the data to look that up, so I
think you're right. I think that's an Amumu, by the way.
It's a hover.
They haven't. Oh, it's a hover. Thank God for that.
Yeah, you can see.
I mean, actually, I like an Amumu because it'd be exciting. But no, Aatrox getting picked up. It's pretty exciting if they go for it. They do go for it.
No, but now the problem is, what if Skewer goes something like super flashy, like Wukong, like Fiora, or oh my God, already a matchup which you could definitely skill check Aatrox in, and considering you already know what you're 2v1ing against, something like I mean, again, you're going very comfort for the 2v1, and it's just going to get locked in. So it's a little bit off theme with the rest of the draft in terms of like, pretty hard scaling wave clear into team fighting. But Irelia, if she can find the flanks, pretty strong backline access, could just enable her to absolutely take over team fights on the side of the Irelia and Skewer. In the matchup directly with Aatrox, I've seen it go both ways. Again, Irelia is such a mechanically, intensive champion that it's more on the player in a lot of these matchups, outside of the few that really just suck, plain and simple. There's a very little counterplay. So we'll see how Skewer gets on in the top side. Interesting to see the Zinzao, though. We don't get to see that too often in jungle these days. It's definitely a champion that's been hit with the nerf hammer quite a few times. Its place taken by Wukong. So we'll see what Shakal will let's get done. But a lot of range on the side of Domino from its 2 carries means that ultimate can definitely get a lot of value.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. I think for this game, we're probably just going to be wanting to watch the jungle with the top lane, because I think every other lane is going to be farming and poking and nothing really interesting, unfortunately.
I'm going to do it and hope my chair doesn't, break.
It sounded like you just relieved yourself, man.
I'm snoring.
That is one creaky chair.
It is a creaky chair.
Have you got a hoodie hanging off the back of it as well?
Yeah, I do. It's
this is such
memorabilia from my travels to America.
This is honestly such a janky broadcast. You on
You're
5G, my internet breaking. You didn't even put your backdrop up because you couldn't be bothered. You got a coat hanging off the
It's
back of your
warm
chair.
today.
That thing there isn't adding to any heat. This right here
I knew that.
is
I knew that would get you.
nothing.
I
It's
knew
doing
that would
nothing to
get
the
you.
heat, man. And
I
I agree with you. It's hot today.
It's not. No,
I'm
Jake,
not
it's
fighting you on it.
Jake,
All right.
it's not warm. Yeah, Reed's dealing with 30 degrees in
Yeah, but
his
wait,
country.
where is Reed? He's like Italy, right? Am I being...
South Europe.
It's Italy. Yeah, he's in Italy. I've got like, if you're Italian, you're used to the heat. I'm English. I'm used to the rain, man.
Do you know what's
I'm not
what's great
acclimatized for heat.
is by background, I'm used to heat anyway. But
Yeah.
also, after I've been to America and experienced like near the equator just before summer heat, it just doesn't affect me anymore. Like we've had since I've been back on this continent, we've had about I've been through about 3 different heat waves in Berlin and here, and each time I've had to be reminded that it was hot.
I mean,
It's great.
when I did
It's
Berlin,
great.
it was torturously hot a couple weeks
Is
ago.
it bad
That
in the
was
studio?
the studio was lovely, and that was the one that was, you know, I'm normally excited to go to work anyway. We have amazing jobs, but when it's also air-conned, it just makes it that much sweeter. But it was unbelievably warm. I did a very quick crossover in Abu Dhabi when I was coming back from Rift Rivals years ago, and yeah,
See,
like
it
the desert
it's-
hits different, man. Like that is hot.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Because I went to Texas. Texas, I don't know if it is by definition, but I'll tell you right now, it used to be a desert before they built everything there. So yeah, it's bloody hot down there. And again, like for anybody that has ever traveled to anywhere near the equator, basically, it just gets really hot, as you would expect, especially during the summer years, of course.
Or you
and
know,
for
if you do
poor Jake,
Australia, because Australia
Or if
has
you
no
do
ozone
Australia-
layer.
that is also true. Surprisingly, I think a lot of people forget, if you look at a map, Australia isn't that far from the equator either. Like people kind of think,
No.
like, especially because the whole like, oh, it's down under, like that whole narrative. Like people think it's super like south on the map. It's not. Like it's pretty close to, well, not close per se, like geographically, but in terms of like on the line, it's in line with like India almost, which
Well,
is
you
kind
remember
of like weird to think.
Also, maps are done on a flat spread.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you've got the curvature of the Earth as well. So you got the
Yeah.
curvature of the Earth as well. So that does make things look
Oh,
different.
yeah,
Because Texas
that's
is like
also-
almost the size of Europe, by the way. Like
Yeah,
it's
so-
actually huge.
Small bit of education. We're supposed to be casting League of Legends. We're 2 minutes into the game. Jungle. Look, all right. If you're not,
Look,
you're not used
if
to
you're
me
here for
making
League
that
of
for
Legends commentary and like high level analysis, I'm sorry.
Well-
We're talking about geography now.
yeah, like for people that don't know, oh, Skewer.
Nah, I think he's probably
no. He can. Okay, that's I think
he's got the passive charged up. Ooh, no, don't worry.
No, not happening. But that trade is kind of big because now Spuda. I mean, yeah, he's going to heal up a little bit with the pots. Doran shield as well. That general sustain going to be nice, but bringing him down to like 60% means that if Skewer can find like a good opportunity where he finds flawless duet stun and the wave is kind of nice for it, he can just all-in him from that much HP, run him down, force him back. Curiosity has the Conqueror and not lethal tempo, which is something we see a lot more about Shakal now in the area. He might just walk through the lane, but Porcupine is here.
Oh, yeah, he misses out on that flawless duet though. They're jumping in, and that is going to be an instant flash out from Skewer. Skull has to flash as well. 2 flashes burnt topside as Domino just walk away the victors of all of that action. And Skewer, he wants to reset, but he needs to catch this cannon wave.
Yeah, he has to catch his cannon wave. So Spuda's going to get his reset in. Oh, okay. Really nice from
That was
Shakal,
smart.
actually. So
yeah.
even though it's going to feel a little bit awkward for Skewer because he's going to share up a fair amount of that XP as Shakal walks away, denying the tempo reset of Spuda is actually huge because even though he'll probably still be able to save his teleport, the fact that he's not able to get effectively a free recall whilst that wave is crashed means that Skewer could be at a fairly lesser disadvantage than he would have been. Now, he will still TP back to lane, just for the sake of, I think his wave is probably bouncing away from him because obviously he just had a wave crash. But the fact that Spuda doesn't necessarily per se have as big an advantage is definitely very nice for Shakal to have gained for his top laner.
Really, really nice pickup, actually. Well, not pickup, sorry, but just denial there. And
Anyway, back to Equator talk because that
yeah, let's go.
that
Let's go.
felt very
Geography,
passionate.
baby.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, most maps are actually drawn disproportionate to how large things are. And Skewer could force flash. Oh, he has no Q. Okay, looks like
Skewer hates geography. That's all I'm gonna say. Although
Skewer hates geography, and you know what? So does Domino, because they're here to punish him apparently. And this is all from the wave crash a minute ago.
well, Porcupine's coming in. Skewer has no flash. He didn't go for the reset. He's gonna lose his life, and that is first blood over to the Corky.
And do my eyes deceive me, or did Corky just roam to a side lane before 5 minutes into the game? Like, how does that happen? More aptly, it seems like Harbo maybe got a wave crash teleported, or vice versa. Like Zero got a wave crash. Harbo had to base beforehand, maybe from some poor trades. Hard to say, but Zero roams up alongside Porcupine, and they're able to pick up Skewer. On the bottom side, at the very least, it's going to be traded out with this dragon, but I'm going to feel pretty bad for that matchup. But you R5'd, you're now, for now, a little bit behind in. As that wave, again, it's on a slow push, but it was able to reset, teleport. And more repeat ganks can actually occur, and you can take a look at the minimap. Porcupine has a clear path in jungle camps from bot to top.
Yeah, you're gonna have to see probably Skull go up there to try and help sort out this wave state for Skewer, because Skewer does have a farm lead, but that farm lead has kind of slowly started to be denied from him as Spuda held that wave there in that position for quite a while. Skewer, obviously on the Aurelia though, does have the ability to quickly shove these waves in, and as you can see, there you go, makes quick work of it, crashes it under the tower, but the next wave comes, so it's not perfect, unfortunately.
I kind of have to say, no, it's going to be fine, because, -1 by the way, but Spuda didn't actually drag the wave up and try and hold a freeze. It didn't look like Skewer at all wanted to try and interrupt that from happening. The wave was right there. Definitely a missed opportunity to keep the wave state super positive for him, but now it's just going to slow push back out towards Skewer, and that's going to, at the very least, give him access to some of that farm. We'll see whether or not Porcupine returns back towards the top side to try and punish, because right now on the bottom side, Europhelios, he's scaling. At the same time, Jinx is too. You've had this discussion for, since this matchup was meta, which champion scales a little bit harder into the late game. I lie on the Jinx baseline, but of course we've seen what Felios can do if untouched, right? If he gets a massive flamethrower armor or just a massive red-white fight.
I think it's easier. I think it's easier for Jinx to play the late game. Not on Aphelios, because Aphelios is about juggling your gun, understanding your combos and stuff like that. As Skewer gets pulled back in, is able to blade surge to safety as Porcupine's running him down, but the World Ender's coming in. Skill's trying to buy some time as they throw out the Vanguard's edge, trying to kill the monkey. As in comes the Corky again, a constant nuisance for this top lane matchup. And Zoro may just find himself another kill as they're going to throw down the right of the arcane. Zoro takes one shot, but won't take any more. He's just unlocked in the mid.
Yeah, I think Snubby flashed and interrupted the ultimate from Harbo there. He might pay for it with his life. I think almost certainly will. And Rulus will probably be the one to pick up that kill. I would love to see maybe just a brief replay or just confirmation whether or not that's why that ultimate got caught short from Harbo. So like maybe Sarah would go down to, all of those ultimate shots hitting. But either way, Domino winning out heavy on the top side. Skewer, this early pick's just not working for him. So much focus going down, and Shkal comes to try and bail him out, or at the very least just, alleviate some of the pressure. Isn't able to work out, and now also gives over his life in this play. What is this replay going to be? It's the top side fight. So Skewer gets dragged back with the Infernal Chains, and at that point, once the sweet spots start landing from the Darkened Blade, it just feels like he has to go backwards and try and commit. Skewer does his best and honestly buys a whole bunch of time, but again, it's just a constant factor that Zero keeps on making it to these side lane roams. It's not the first time this game towards the top side, and he even had an opportunity to roam towards the bottom side too. So, okay. So Harbo actually calls it short anyway, but Fast-Legged was rotating to the top side to potentially get involved if the play had gone a little bit longer. Now we're out of the replay because Herald Princess is going down. Munster, they have all five here first. Domino, they'll have their ADC eventually, but it's going to be a couple of more seconds.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be here in time. As there we go, Herald picked up Skull, able to get away. The Rockets are doing a fair amount of damage, but great little trap there to keep them out. The heal comes down, not going to connect the Infernal Chains. And Munster able to finally fire back and pick themselves up that Rift Herald after what has been a pretty devastating top lane for Skewer.
Yeah, definitely a bit surprising considering how unfortunate this top side of the map has been for Munster. Domino really have been off to the races on that side of the map, and a lot of it has just come from Zero finding lane priority apparently into the Xerath. making it over to side lanes, and he's not really had to sacrifice that much CS in terms of his lead between his lane opponent to get those roams to happen either, sitting only, what, a wave behind, all things considered. You have 2 kills and an assist. You're feeling a-okay about that. Plus, you now have put yourself, or your top laner's self, in a position where it seems like Irelia just isn't going to have too much kill threat one-to-one with Spuda for a little while.
Skewer dodging away, throws out the Vanguard's edge, actually. Able to get a whole bunch of damage into Spuda. Spuda needs to be so careful. Maybe a little bit too early, but they're actually bringing Skull down, and that Blade Surge should be coming up fairly soon. Gonna throw out the World Ender, and there's the sustain. Oh my word! The Aatrox healing, able to lock him in place, and now Spuda waiting to time that out as Shakal needs to be careful once again, though, looking to challenge as he gets the Infernal Chains off into those sweet spots. The Deathbringer stance healing him up massively, and the Baron recall or the Rift Herald recall will come in. They were looking to plates and get some gold and recover this top lane, but unfortunately for them, Spuda's ultimate just completely denies anything from Munster.
Yeah, and massive blunder as well from Shakal. -1 against Spuda. Massive blunder again from Shakal. I'm sorry, it's the second time I've done that this game for no reason. Shakal uses the ultimate and it actually drags himself tower aggro underneath, well, the tower, obviously, and it means that he has to flash away from the play. The dive can't come through. And with that, Spuda just kind of staves off that dive with very little effort. I think if we take a step back at the very least, Munster, they're not actually that far behind, despite how hectic the top side of the map has been. That Jinx has a kill. Harbo on the Xerath is actually at 1 IM already. I think started with an Aptome, or maybe he sold the Doran's ring. I'm actually not too sure what his start would have been. But yeah, already at 1 IM. But on the opposite side, you can see Sero does have that Manamune stacking up alongside the Sork Pen Boots.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh my! Yeah, I mean, yeah, dead.
That's a solo kill. Spuda didn't even touch. Right.
That Corki, by the way, has Pen Boots and a Manamine already. So
with
like
170 something stacks. Like, why does it deal that much damage? Like, what is?
Wait,
do you know one thing? I also,
yeah,
you have to remember, because obviously he only has the Manamune right now, so he's getting only like adaptive AD, and with 180 stacks, I would wager in total he's getting like 50 something AD. If you hovered over the ion, like 55 maybe.
35.
65. 70.
Oh,
70.
Wait, where? Oh, you are correct. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's alright.
Again, like Corki just didn't seem to get affected by the durability patch, unfortunately.
Nope, for no reason.
I mean, he is 3-0. In this case, I'll say, yeah. I mean, that was a lot of bursts for basically half an item and boots, because he hasn't even got the Mirror Mana, so it's literally just, you know, not amazing. It's not a full item at the moment, but even so, he is very, very strong. But Munster trying to answer out, and this Jinx is kind of silently getting pretty strong right now. They're able to pick up this first tower blood underneath the tower. A lot of gold just injected into their Jinx, but now Spuda pops the World Ender, and he's looking to chase in. He gets the Infernal Chains off, and Fast Leg gobbles up his jungler, spits him out to safety, and that's just a freebie up in the mid lane.
Yeah, it is, and on the top side at the very least, Skewer as well will also be able to pick up a plate. Now, whether or not Spuda is going to be able to do anything about that in response is a very big question, but Porcupine is behind him, so he's trying to drag this one out as long as possible. Skewer will have to blow his flash, otherwise the Infernal Chains will hold him back.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be able to get away, though, off that flash does go down. Approaching the 15-minute mark, both teams have got a single dragon to their name. You can see the individual gold leads right now, and actually mid lane, only 300 separating them, but bot lane, 80 carries. There is starting to be a bit of a pull ahead, as Ruv has been able to get himself almost 1,000 gold over his opponent.
Yeah, very interesting how he's managed to do that, as CS is about the same. They picked up 1 kill, so I'm not sure where the 1,000 gold lead comes from, to be honest with you.
Oh no,
Skewer, no flash.
Yeah, he tries to survive, but the monkey spin means he cannot do anything, and they even had the Lulu there to make sure. Skewer actually, when we did look at the gold, wasn't too far behind, all things considered, so he's been okay on that front. Has got a pretty big gold lead, big farm lead over his opponent, but the big problem is yeah, you're getting the Aatrox pretty strong, and maybe slightly denying the Aurelia, but on the other side, this Jinx is monstrous. Kraken Slayer finished up. First tower blood plus plates, and then a bunch of tower damage and a tower on the bot side. He's looking very, very good.
But I raise you a 301 Corki who's almost that 2
yeah, true.
So, you know, sure, Jinx can deal great DPS if she's allowed to. And in a game like this, to be fair, there shouldn't be too much pressuring her besides Porcupine, maybe, like, occasionally.
But you got the Tom Kench.
You even have the Tom Kench to help you out with that, yeah. But, again, Corki. It's just that thing, you know? Like, I don't know if you've been seeing the memes on, like, Twitter. There's just, like, Eero Corki just trumps all. Like, it's just how it works.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, we'll see whether or not Zero is able to outdo the Jinx at the moment. I know where my money's going. That's for sure. And the answer is not Jinx, just because, again, Corki, man. It's just I did it in the breakdown of the draft. Got back in my chair. I just started sleeping, and that's kind of the feel. Kind of for this game.
You know what? I'm gonna be that guy. I'm actually very happy with this Corki because it hasn't been a snooze fest. He's been very proactive actually. Yeah, this is like you said at the beginning as well. Wow, Corki roaming 3-6. That's really big. But trading out tower for tower here as Revelus trying to see if he can get another charge out, and it looks like he should be able to. As the right of the arcane land onto Spuden, actually doing a fair amount of damage. That is gonna stick. They get a charge off as well. A lot of tower damage onto that tier 2, and a lot of gold continues to be injected into this Jinx.
Yeah, it is indeed. That could definitely work to the benefit of Munster. Again, they're not even down gold. Like, they're just not down gold. Like, they have the 2 towers, or 3 towers, right?
Oh, no.
That's making up for a lot of it.
Oh, okay.
Hub was fine. Like,
he actually got spooked by the plant there, by the way.
Yeah, he did. It's a bit awkward, but I think Domino will be able to just move back towards the dragon. Munster, you know, I think maybe it's a little bit too late to the map here to contest this. And what kind of sucks for them is this is a really good window for them to do it, because at the moment they are on item parity with Domino. And even though they are down...
No!
Ah!
Oh, I'm going to have to flash away, but he's instantly caught out, gets a bunch of damage out, but he will fool Corki. Corki the champ. As they get a gobble off actually onto the Aatrox, spit him out onto the traps as they throw down the ultimate. As look at that damage, the Lulu ult is huge. The Vanguard's edge comes down, and somehow Hellman is making it work. But Skewer finds a double kill, answers out huge, dodges out on the big rocket as well. And Munster are just able to put the scraps together from that fight as Porcupine goes monkey spin. Scout trying to survive for as long as possible, able to flash away, and now Skewer can jump in. He gets the 2-man knock-up. No, Fastlane can't. Tonguelash gonna land onto Snabby as they look to chase for more. Skewer coming in as now goes down another. It's an unofficial quadra kill for Skewer.
And he's back in the game, baby. Who cares about laning phase? Honestly, I mean, I don't know. Munster, props to you. And I will say, even though Hubbo did very quickly get picked off in that fight, that damage onto Snubby was absolutely illegal. But it was all about the fight that unfolded afterwards in the mid lane. Despite the dragon going over to Domino, just end up getting absolutely minced in the mid side of the map. And a lot of it, I mean, it looked pretty good, right? Honestly, even Spooder surviving for so long, but it's all about the chase down. So we'll get a look at what happened initially over here. It's Spooder kind of walking into Revelius, and a lot of healing comes through, base kit, Gore Drinker, etc. World Ender, and the kill almost comes in, but Spooder has to go backwards, he feels, can't advance forward. Hellman moves forward as well, but the shutdown goes on to Skewer for the Aatrox, and then he's kind of handed the Aphelios as well. Then Domino, they just kind of overchase very briefly, not expecting Fastlegged and Skewer to come in. The knock-up, double knock-up almost comes in. Does come in fact, sorry for Shkar, but it's about the ultimate, which keeps him alive. Knock-up doesn't come through from Fastlegged, but Skewer able to just close the gap. And from here, like you said, unofficial quadra. Domino just stick around too long, looking for something that they just have no business finding.
I want to see how much gold Skewer now has after that, because he got like 2 or 3 shutdowns in that. Yeah, he just pulled back that gold lead pretty big after that one.
Yeah.
1,600 gold as well in the bot lane as well. So, you know, even with Rovelius going down, still in a very, very comfortable position. Mid 400 gold between him, so that doesn't really matter. Munster actually set up pretty well here now.
Yeah, they actually are. I mean, Revelius still, though, 8.6k in a game like this could be absolutely massive for Munster. And now, after that fight, there's actually a bit of a difference between the two teams in gold. 2k for Munster is the lead, and it seems like Skewer's going to go towards... It still could actually be a Gordrinker or a Stride, Gordrinker or a Stride Breaker. I expect a Gordrinker, but Stride to stick even more onto some of these carries could definitely be very, very beneficial. So we'll see what he ends up itemizing. But right now, back in the game with those 4 kills, and it's probably not something that Domino were expecting, to be honest. They probably felt as if they'd done their job and put this Aurelia as far behind as they possibly could. Of course, it did come at the cost of Jinx being super strong, but when you have your own Corki getting very far ahead, you probably wouldn't have minded it either. The only problem on the flip side now is that even though Corki is very strong, so is Harbo. Harbo has been able to farm up relatively uncontested because a lot of these roams in Nabi is dead.
Yeah, that's a dead Lulu.
Why is Lulu there? That is a weird death. Very weird death.
You know what? Your job's to explain things. I can't explain that. Actually, you know, you got a pretty fair Jinx. Like, a slight moment. If Jinx is in the right position, they could turn this into Baron. A pick here onto the likes of Porcupine. That might be Baron.
They just had to be a bit more patient. But they wanted to get a little bit more vision. They felt like once Domino weren't checking that, they might as well try and set up a brief vision line. And unfortunately, Domino were about to check. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, Skewer didn't even use ultimate to get Spuda to that point. And we have our answer. It is Gordrinker. It's been picked up. But yeah, I've always said, since I was taught it, 2 items on AD carry, that's normally like the green flag that you can probably damage check a Baron. And in most circumstances, right? Obviously, AD carry to AD carry, it kind of varies. But if you're talking your Jinx, your Aphelios, Zeri, things like that, 2 items, really good. AD carry is going to be online for a team fight. So look to go for it. Definitely was a pretty good window. But now, next window is about this Hextech Dragon. Sarah crucially doesn't have the package. He's going to base for it now, but I think it's kind of late. He has to stick around for the fight snap. He gets chunked out. But no one really on Domino. It felt like, no one on Domino was really going to contest it. If all of those shots landed, that's a dead Lulu.
And I actually really rate Hextech Drake at the moment, on especially since the durability patch. It's more sticking power in these fights. You know, it's not just about that ability haste and like bonus attack speed. It's that slow. It's the ability to kind of stick to people. You land one ability and everyone can follow up. Jinx, when she gets excited, and then is also proccing that Hextech Soul. Really, really powerful stuff. So it's quite scary for some of these teams actually to play into the likes of that.
Yeah, it definitely can be. I mean, Hextech Dragon Soul is the most powerful soul in the game. I don't think there's much question, to be honest. I think Infernal is nice for the like damage stats it gives you, and the proc. Are they gonna try and damage check Baron?
There's no way.
I mean, they have package, and it seems like Munster thought they were gonna damage check Baron too. Yeah, definitely would have been a little bit audacious, to say the least. I think the cool thing is that Hellman is actually about to tick over to white, if I'm a big enough Aphelios nerd. I think if he always wants, he should have chakras.
Yeah,
so
wow.
It would have been a pretty fast-ish Baron, but without a second item, it's definitely very risky, especially if you're looking to have your Bloodthirster available just for the the sustained fight. But yeah, Domino, I think, a little bit off the same page since the early game, right? Like early game, good, put behind Skewer, great. Team fighting, not really been on the same page. It just feels like a lot of Munster have just been able to meet a lot of their team fight win conditions, and now Porcupine potentially getting caught out.
Yeah, he's getting jumped onto. They've got that right of the arcane coming down onto him, but only a couple of shots are going to land, and Skewer's making his way forward. If he can find a big Vanguard there, Jack up in the opening. Lands onto 2, may chase for more. Skewer jumping into the middle of everyone. Gets instantly polymorphed. He tries to finish up Snap. He tries to kill out the healer. Is able to do so. Lands the snare, but it can't change out anymore. Just about able to survive as they take the Hex Gates over the walls to safety. Spuda also in the area. Remember, the Jinx is kind of untouched at the moment, so this could be a little bit scary.
Okay, so they are going to start the Baron. Porcupine is alive because he used the decoy over the wall. Fast leg. He's all right. But, oh my god.
Zeref damage, baby. Rob able to put a lot of damage out himself here. Not going to go for the snipe. And it looks like maybe Munster might try and damage check it themselves. Although they are a little bit low. Haven't really got the vision to work with. But they're going to give it a go here. Spooder and Zero. Actually, Zero has that teleport so he can come in. And he is going to do so. Hasn't got the package, obviously, but he's looking to jump in. And now the knockup lands onto Ruvia. Has to try and jump away. He has a flash available. He's in the Baron pit, though, taking a lot of passive damage this whole time. Flashes out over the wall. Jungler goes down. And now it's over to Domino to give it a go. But Skewer is back up and alive. Almost has that ultimate available. And he is going to Hex Portal over. This is almost a threat coming in. As Ruv, if he can find a big ultimate, that might do enough. No,
okay.
They're not able to steal it away. The combo was almost there. And now Skewer is on the wrong side of the rift. He's in so much danger. He's going to fire the Vanguard's edge, looking to get onto Spooder. Gets a whole bunch of damage off. 1 versus 5. Skewer finds a kill. He will go down. But Munster, I'm speechless at this play.
Yeah, there's really not much to say about it. It's just a Baron check with your jungler at 200 HP. It's just really strange. To be honest with you, Domino just come in and capitalize, punish straight away. Just very, very, very strange from Munster that they weren't able to secure anything. I've just realized I've said complete nonsense. Well, it's fine. It's Domino that end up with the Baron. And I will give credit to Skewer for making a mountain out of a molehill in a 1v5. Stripping that Baron buff off of Spooder does mean that they have to wait a little bit with this Baron, right? They're already a minute into the Baron timer, and they haven't really accomplished too much off the back of it straight away. Just the resets coming through, and now Spooder can join the rest of his team. But my kind of question is, with so much poke damage available to Harbo, are they just going to be able to stave off the Baron? And are we just going to kind of end up in a situation where the game kind of stalemates again? But Hextech Dragon's up, so hopefully these two teams are going to be willing to absolutely butt heads over it.
I mean, you got an entire item.
Yeah.
You got an entire item on your Jinx. That Infinity Edge is there. That's a 3-item Jinx. Porcupine has to be able to deal with him, but Fastlake has the Gobble. And as long as these Jinx rockets aren't, the Corki rockets aren't landing, Ruv should just be able to survive through the Cyclone and then tidy up more. But the rockets are doing a little bit of poke here from Zoro. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's one of those days.
It's all right. It's all right. But I really like the angle that Domino had set up there, because Porcupine weighing in a kind of position where you're probably not expecting to get flanked from. If Munster entered the river from that particular entrance, they would have absolutely been monster munched in that choke.
God damn it.
What?
Nothing.
Monster munched. Monster munched got you. But like everything else that we've said today has.
Today's been a blur, friend. Today has been a blur.
Besides the kitten line, I know that one made you feel the kind of way.
Yeah. That sparked some emotions in me. Is probably the best way to word what happened there. This mid lane tower is still standing, and the Baron has now finally timed out on the side of Domino. And this tower's still pretty healthy, so providing they don't find a kill, although they still got it for a bit actually, sorry, but Harbo does need to be careful. Porcupine's coming in. They're looking for the flash out instantly. Everybody jumps in. He gets the snare. He gets the gobble. Fastlane can spit him out. And just like that, Harbo is able to survive. Now they also have the Jinx stepping up. They are going to be able to take down the tower. But in come the rockets. In comes the right of the Arcane. Fastlane looking to chase for a little bit more. But Snubby's being caught. What a beautiful Vanguard's edge. Obscurus instantly polymorphed down. Zoro gets himself a kill as well.
Oh my god.
They are cooked. Triple kill picked up onto the Corki. And it is a clean ace for the side of Domino.
How broken is Corki, man? It is absolutely absurd. And that is simply going to be game. They died in the mid lane at the tier 2 with a minion wave crashing. And just like that, Munster's game will end abruptly. Domino, it felt like had the driving forces, like they were probably going to slowly win this game at that very moment, but ending before 30 minutes is not something I had on my radar. And they will go 6-6. You have to feel bad for Munster, because on both sides, right? Top lane, bottom lane, they had the opportunity, right, to win through Skewer or through Rubelius.
Yeah.
But it just never really came together, unfortunately. And just off the back of what felt like a nothing pick attempt onto Harbo turns into game end. We was just speaking about how tier 1 in the mid lane is still up.
Yeah.
And the game is finished.
My mind is blown by how that game just went. Oh, it just fell over. The whole game just completely crumbled after one fight. Absolutely amazing win there for Domino over Munster. And I mean, I'm a little speechless. Hopefully, we'll be able to. Well, I'd say hopefully. We're going to talk to one of the players after that game. But before that, we are going to throw to a quick break. When we're back, we'll get a little bit more insight on actually what the hell went on in that game.